Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Have you ever stood alone for the truth, even when everyone around you believed a lie? Today we're exploring the fascinating story of Micaiah, a prophet of God who wasn't afraid to speak the truth, even when it meant opposing a king and 400 false prophets. Stay tuned to discover how Micaiah's unwavering faith delivers a powerful lesson for us today. Micaiah was a prophet of God in Israel during the reign of King Ahab. His story is particularly notable because he prophesied what the Israelites did not want to hear: the impending death of Ahab and the defeat of Israel by the Syrians. 1 Kings chapter 22, 2 Chronicles chapter 18. The prophet Micaiah, son of Imlah, bore a name meaning, "who is like Yahweh." Interestingly, this name also refers to at least 6 other individuals in the Bible, and sometimes appears in the abbreviated form, Micah. The historical context. Micaiah is introduced in the biblical narrative during a time when the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah formed a coalition against Syria. After King Solomon's death, Israel split into 2 kingdoms: Israel in the north, ruled by Ahab, a notoriously wicked king, and Judah in the south, ruled by King Jehoshaphat, who was considered righteous. Due to a political alliance strengthened by marriage, Ahab's daughter Athaliah married Jehoshaphat's son Jehoram. The 2 kingdoms sought mutual benefit in battling Syria for control over Ramoth-Gilead. Micaiah was a prophet of God in Israel during the reign of King Ahab. The story of the prophet Micaiah became known especially because he prophesied what the Israelites did not want to hear. Micaiah prophesied the death of Ahab and the consequent defeat of the Israelites before the Syrians. 1 Kings chapter 22, 2 Chronicles chapter 18. The prophet Micaiah was the son of Imlah. The name Micaiah means, "who is like Yahweh." Interestingly, this same name also designates at least 6 other people in the Bible, and sometimes this name appears in the abbreviated variant, Micah. Micaiah is mentioned in the biblical narrative in the context of the coalition of the northern kingdom, Israel, and the southern kingdom, Judah, against Syria. It is worth remembering that after the death of King Solomon, the nation of Israel was divided into 2 distinct kingdoms: Israel in the north and Judah in the south. In the time of Micaiah, the kingdom of Israel was ruled by Ahab, a notoriously wicked king, while the kingdom of Judah was ruled by King Jehoshaphat, who was considered a righteous king. The prophet Micaiah lived in the northern kingdom and was not well regarded by the king of Israel. Indeed, Micaiah was known in Israel for being a prophet who only spoke against King Ahab. As a true prophet of the Lord, Micaiah was not afraid to deliver messages of judgment and warning, even if they displeased the king. But King Ahab was forced to consult Micaiah before his campaign against the Syrians. In fact, at that time, Ahab and Jehoshaphat were close because Ahab's daughter, Athaliah, had married Jehoshaphat's son, Jehoram, and the kingdom of Judah decided to help the northern kingdom in its battle against Syria, as this would also bring benefits to the southern kingdom. However, before proceeding, King Jehoshaphat wanted to hear what the will of the Lord was regarding that matter. So King Ahab summoned 400 prophets to give their opinion on that situation. In unanimity, those prophets prophesied the Lord's blessing upon Ahab and the victory of Israel in the battle against the Syrians, as we read in 2 Chronicles chapter 18, verse 5. So the king of Israel gathered the prophets, 400 men, and said to them, "Shall we go to war against Ramoth-Gilead, or shall I refrain?" And they said, "Go up, for God will deliver it into the king's hand." The problem was that those prophets were not prophets of God, but false prophets who only prophesied what King Ahab wanted to hear. These prophets were likely influenced by a deceiving spirit, as later revealed by Micaiah. But even after the opinion of Ahab's prophets, who were apparently led by Zedekiah son of Kenana, King Jehoshaphat continued wanting to hear a prophet of the Lord. He questioned, "Is there not here another prophet of the Lord of whom we may inquire?" 2 Chronicles chapter 18, verse 6. This shows Jehoshaphat's discernment and desire to hear a true word from God. Ahab's response to King Jehoshaphat was very revealing about the kind of person Micaiah was. In 2 Chronicles chapter 18, verse 7, we read, "So the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, 'There is still one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him, because he never prophesies good concerning me, but always evil." The Bible does not record any other details about who Micaiah was or about his ministry. But by Ahab's reaction, it is clear that the prophet Micaiah was an upright man. Ahab was a powerful but perverse king, and the fact that Micaiah did not prophesy what pleased him shows that Micaiah's primary commitment was to the Lord and not to the king. Micaiah's courage to speak the truth in the face of opposition exemplifies the integrity expected of God's prophets. Due to Jehoshaphat's insistence, King Ahab, although reluctant, had to send for the prophet Micaiah. Ahab's messenger who went to call Micaiah immediately tried to persuade him, saying that the other prophets had prophesied success and that he should do the same. But the prophet Micaiah's response was simple and direct. "As surely as the Lord lives, whatever my God says, that I will speak." Second Chronicles chapter 18 verse 13. When he came before Ahab, Micaiah was questioned whether the Israelites should go to battle against the Syrians or not. At first, Micaiah responded with irony, saying that Ahab's troops would triumph over the Syrians. In 1 Kings chapter 22 verse 15, Micaiah says, "Go and prosper, for the Lord will deliver it into the hand of the king." His sarcastic tone was evident, and Ahab sensed it. Since Micaiah had never prophesied anything good to Ahab, the king of Israel insisted that Micaiah not hide the truth from him. Ahab said to him, "How many times shall I make you swear that you tell me nothing but the truth in the name of the Lord?" 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 16. Then the prophet Micaiah finally prophesied disaster upon Ahab and informed him that God had shown him all Israel scattered upon the hills, like sheep that have no shepherd. In 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 17, Micaiah said, "I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains, as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord said, These have no master. Let each return to his house in peace." The cynical Ahab said to Jehoshaphat, "Did I not tell you he would not prophesy good concerning me, but evil?" 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 18. However, Micaiah warned everyone that his words came from the Lord, who had even shown him that the predicted disaster was under divine sovereignty. In this sense, God himself permitted a lying spirit to speak through the mouths of Ahab's prophets to deceive him, leading him to ruin. At this point, the biblical text records that Micaiah continued, "Therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing on his right hand and his left. And the Lord said, Who will persuade Ahab king of Israel to go up, that he may fall at Ramoth-Gilead?" So one spoke in this manner, and another spoke in that manner. Then a spirit came forward and stood before the Lord and said, "I will persuade him." The Lord said to him, "In what way?" So he said, "I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets." And the Lord said, "You shall persuade him and also prevail. Go out and do so. Therefore look, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouth of these prophets of yours, and the Lord has declared disaster against you." Second Chronicles chapter 18 verses 18 to 22. See also 1 Kings chapter 22 verses 19 to 23. This passage reveals the sovereignty of God over all events, even using the deception of false prophets to accomplish his purposes. Then Zedekiah son of Kenana, a leader among those prophets, did not accept Micaiah's words and struck him on the cheek, saying, "Which way did the Spirit from the Lord go from me to speak to you?" 1 Kings chapter 22 verse 24. Subsequently, King Ahab ordered that the prophet Micaiah be immediately imprisoned and kept on bread and water until he returned victorious from the battle. In 1 Kings chapter 22 verse 27, Ahab said, "Put this fellow in prison, and feed him with bread of affliction and water of affliction, until I come in peace." After this order from Ahab to imprison Micaiah, the Bible says nothing more about him. All that is known is that the prophet Micaiah publicly responded to Ahab's challenge, saying, "If you ever return in peace, the Lord has not spoken by me." And he added, "Take heed, all you people." 1 Kings chapter 22 verse 28. Although the Bible does not inform us of what happened to Micaiah afterward, it makes it very clear that indeed Micaiah was a prophet of the Lord, and that everything God said through him about Ahab came to pass. King Ahab went out to battle in disguise, but even so, at the end of the day, he ended up being killed. as we read in Second Chronicles chapter 18, verses 33 to 34. Now a certain man drew a bow at random and struck the king of Israel between the joints of his armor. The battle increased that day, and the king of Israel propped himself up in his chariot facing the Syrians until evening, and about the time of sunset he died. Despite his attempts to avoid the prophecy, Ahab could not escape God's judgment. The story of the prophet Micaiah serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of speaking the truth, even in the face of opposition. His unwavering commitment to God's message, despite personal risk, exemplifies the courage and integrity that believers are called to emulate. Micaiah's prophecy was fulfilled exactly as he had declared, confirming his role as a true prophet of the Lord. Conclusion. Micaiah's steadfast commitment to speaking God's truth, despite immense pressure, serves as a powerful lesson for us today. His story challenges us to stand firm in our convictions, even when we're standing alone. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the life of Prophet Micaiah. If you found this video enlightening, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might benefit from this message. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any future explorations into biblical history and its lessons for us today. Until next time, stay blessed and keep seeking the truth.